everybody, it's Nick with Untitled Outdoors. So I looked all over the internet trying to find a continuous loop tutorial that utilizes that lock Brummel technique that we talked about in the other video, where the ends are crossed and then buried 180 degrees back on themselves. The lock Brummel method holds better. It doesn't have a chance to back out, so it's a little bit more secure than that straight splice without lock stitching that straight splice. So I thought I'd make a tutorial on that particular method and share it with you guys. So here it is. Okay, so this is our setup. We're going to be making an 8-inch continuous loop, and these are the measurements that we're going to need. We have a 29-inch piece of tape laid out, and here's how the breakdown is. It's going to be 1 inch for the taper, 4 inches of additional buried material for a total of 5 inches inside of the bury. This amount equals 1 1/4 inch of loss in the cord by increasing the diameter of the cord, so then it shrinks it a little bit. Same thing on the other side, 1 1/4 for loss, 4 inches of additional bury material with the 1 inch taper. Now we're going to need 16.5 inches for the actual loop itself, because when we make that lock Brummel, it takes away from some of the cordage that we're going to be using. If you wanted to make a bigger or smaller loop, like right now we're making an 8-inch loop and it's 16.5 inches. If you want to make a 9-inch loop, it would be 18.5 inches, 10-inch loop, 20.5 inches. So just add 2 to the diameter that you're going to be using. These are the tools that we're going to need. We're going to need a pair of scissors. We're going to need some form of punch to make the holes, and this is called a tightening tool. I got it off board paracord, but it works pretty well. And then we're going to need a fish tool. You can either use some small gauge wire. This is thermostat wire that I just took the sheath off of. Or what I like to use is a long sewing needle, because it can get inside the core easier and it doesn't bend like the gauge wire does. It has the eye at the end that you could feed the taper in and then pull it back through with a little bit more stability. So let's get our cord. And when I measure it out, I like to pull it pretty tight so that I know that there's not any sag in the line. Take our scissors, cut that. Now we're going to go to our inch mark and we're going to pinch it off right there. If you want to, you can use a marker to mark all of these different spots that we're going to be doing. I choose not to use the marker because I don't like to have the black on the actual amp steel itself, but if you wanted to, you can use that. So we're going to break up all these strands. And now we're going to take 2 of them. And we're just going to cut those off. And then we're going to take 2 more and cut those off also. There's a total of 8 strands that make up this cordage, and all we're doing is halving it so that it's easier to pull through. Same thing on the other side. 1 inch. All right, so that's our taper. Now we're going to come out to the 5-inch mark, pinch it off, and then we're going to take our tool and make sure that we get in the middle of all the cords or all the strands and make a hole. Just like that. Same thing on the other side. Pull it tight. 5-inch mark. Make a hole. Make sure that there's equal strands on both sides. Alright, so we got our 2 holes. Now, I just like to get my fingers a little wet and put all the cords, or put all the strands together. Stick it right through the hole. And you're going to pull it till the second hole comes through the first hole. Just like that. Same thing. Put all these together. Right through. And that has created that locked Brummel. So that way the cords, when we bury the ends, they can't back out on one another. You can see how it goes through, back this way, goes through, and this way. So we're going to pull both of these loops onto one another. And now we're going to bury the ends 180 degrees back on itself. Make sure they're tight. Bring this down to here. And I like to go about like 1.5 inches past. Open that up. Take the eye part of your needle or the eye part of your fish tool. Insert it into the core. And then just run that all the way down to right where that bury is. And I like to get it as close as I can. And then I pop out. So now that's through. So then you take the end. I like to pinch it right at the edge. And that sticks it right in. Fold it over so that it has a little bit more to grab on when it pulls through. And then just milk it till it pops out. Give it a little pull. And I like to leave it like this for now, so that way when we bury the other side, because the other side might pull out a little bit, that we have something to grab onto to pull the rest through. So I'll show you what I mean. So come to the end, same thing, 1.5 inches. Work it on through till it pops out right at the end. You want to make sure that it comes out clean also, that it's not snagging on any of the strands. Same thing, pinch it off, right through, fold it over, and milk it on down the line. Alright, so we're going to pull that in. This side. All right. And make sure that we got all of it buried. All of it buried. That is your continuous loop. So you can see the noticeable bump that is on where the where they went into the middle, and that's from, like I said, that lock portion getting put back on itself. It's not a big deal for using it in a hammock application, so don't worry about that, but it does make the whole setup more secure so that the bury will not back out on itself if this was relaxed and didn't have any weight applied to it. Take our tape measure and then give it a quick measurement. 8-inch loop. And that is your continuous loop with the locked Brummel. So hope you found that information informative. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment. Other than that, this is Nick with Untitled Outdoors. Get out there and hang.